to start the stream. That's what we're doing. We're telling the audience now. Pretty sure we're live on the video stuff, and we're about to go live on RadioVegas.rocks. Welcome, video people. We're going to give you a second to slide in because I need to make sure that you're actually streaming. Should be. Got all green lights. We're having a green light day. Everything's being green lit. The greenest of lights. Only. Only the greenest. Oh. Hey, shout out to Restream.io is making it happen right now, it looks like. Yeah, streamy wonder. 1 minute till the thing actually starts. Behold.
Don't forget to start the RadioVegas.rock stream.
Yeah. Don't forget, you guys. We're going to stream on RadioVegas.rocks in but a minute. And that's the name you mentioned to our sponsors, like Jesse Ray's Barbecue, Naked City Pizza. You mentioned RadioVegas.rocks to them, and they hook you up with things. You can get 10% off at Naked City Pizza. You can show the app. There's an app now for RadioVegas.rocks, and it's great. You can show it to people, and they give you deals. So
and you can just like walk down the street and say RadioVegas.rocks to anyone.
Anyone.
I'm sure they would appreciate
What do you get
it.
a discount on if you just walk up to some random person?
You get a discount on life. Life is just
fun.
easier.
Yeah.
You just live better.
The power of knowing.
It's just fun, you know.
The power of knowing.
Get to lay
That's
that
right.
knowledge on someone.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. It's Greasy Conversation Hour. That's what it sounds like when it actually starts. Get ready. Yeah. We've got Sarah here. The Doolin.
What up, Radio Vegas world?
It's that time. Radio Vegas .rocks. It's here. And we've got nothing but adventure for you today. And this is what the adventure sounds like. Whoa.
Did you start the stream?
I definitely actually started the stream.
We only said it 20 times before the show started. Start the damn stream.
So holla people checking in on my personal Facebook profile, because it turns out that's like a way better move than the business page. But we're back on Facebook. That's a thing. We left. We did the YouTube. We did the Twitch. We're still there. We're still twitching it. Still building that Twitch. But we're always on RadioVegas.rocks.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted, all right? We didn't like come crawling back to Facebook, all right? They begged us to come back, right? Isn't that what happened? No, no. Oh yeah.
We're in such high demand. We took
Yeah.
down the internet.
Right.
Facebook could not handle the amount.
They're like, what are we
people
gonna do?
streaming.
They didn't beg what they politely asked. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, we saw that your amazing show wasn't showing, and we're sad.
Yeah.
And we want to be less sad.
At least one person who worked at Facebook was sad about it.
Seriously though, they did change their policies and change like the protocols you can stream with them, or something like that happened where all of a sudden the ability to stream to them simulcastly, I can simulcast now, but like it costs more to do it from the page, and people didn't find it from the page as much. So I'm piggybacking my personal clout to then just streaming it from my personal profile. You guys, it's personal, just for you, from me to you. Yeah. Now we've got, this is the submarine of learning coming at you. I had to turn that submarine down. Oh my God, submarine's intense. So who knows what our first news instance
I got.
is going to be?
We can play the where did this happen game.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna describe this scenario. It's pretty. This one, we gotta dive deep on this one. It's got a lot going on. So this dude, Onelio Hippolyte Gonzalez.
Is this the puppies one?
No.
Okay.
All right. He put an ad with himself in a white coat, advertised himself as a doctor, saying he could cure diabetes, Parkinson's disease, cancer, multiple sclerosis, and other health problems. Right? So I guess he'd been doing this for a while. And there was an undercover operation. This undercover officer goes or requests his services, so the guy shows up at his house. He made house calls, right? Takes his blood pressure and then puts this weird thing, a band around his head, and has him hold a metal rod and says it's checking his, hold on. So this is good. Oh, where is it? Sorry, yeah. It was testing his heart, brain, intestinal system, bones, nerves, and everything else. And then afterwards, he just told the dude that his cholesterol was on the way to being too high. He's not getting enough oxygen to his brain as well.
Was he gonna inject something?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
I think I know the article now.
Basically
the
basically the cure to like any ailment was this guy doing something like withdrawing the patient's blood and then maybe doing some hocus pocus to it and just injecting their own blood back into them as a cure.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
total scam, but he finally got busted.
So the name of the game is where did this happen?
Did this happen? And there's pretty much only two places things happen.
Yeah, that's definitely California.
Close.
Florida or California?
Yep.
What? Okay.
Florida.
Was it Florida?
Yeah,
Okay,
she
I
gets
get
it.
1 point.
Boom.
Thank you. Okay, because crazy nut job doctors all come from Florida. I don't know how I know this. This is just general junk information I've stored in my brain throughout the many years of my life on this planet.
That's how it goes,
But
though.
I feel that Florida is full of people that are very susceptible, old people, people that want to go there and seek medical treatment. There's a lot of immigrants there, so I could see how a doctor could get away with some kind of crap like that.
It doesn't mention that he was actually a doctor. It just says he put an ad out that he claimed himself to be a doctor. So, but yeah, totally. No, pretty much anytime something crazy like that happens, it's like Florida or Arizona are my top two. They're like just
A
strange
little bit
shit.
of Oregon sprinkled
That's
in.
my go-to.
Yeah.
Florida.
Oregon and the Dakotas have their moments too.
Yeah.
When you're tracking the wacky news.
But it's like if you don't know where it happened, like 75% of the time you'll be right if you just guess Florida.
Yeah, I swear there's like a tendency, you know, for the media to even like seek out extra Florida.
Yeah, well, it's like
Oh my gosh, there he is. The look of the dude though.
Oh yeah, he looks like
Busted.
He looks like a trustworthy medical professional.
yeah. He probably didn't even like show up to the
Ew.
calls in like a coat like a doctor. He just had like sweatpants and a jersey.
I'm getting that like beginning of esophagus barf. It's just seeing him and picturing him taking my blood out and putting it back in.
Yeah, that you didn't paint a good picture there, Woz. I'm feeling kind of sick now too. Thanks.
Hey, you guys, esophagus barf. Oh, it activated the dogs.
Dogs activated. So this next one's actually pretty interesting and just a weird, well, controversial kind of subject, I think. But Facebook is thinking about removing anti-vaccination content. Because I don't know if you've heard lately, but there's been like outbreaks of measles again because people are just not vaccinating their kids. And a lot of that, like a lot of anti-vax stuff is spread on Facebook. But I think whose responsibility is it to really police that information, you know, if it ends up harming people?
Yeah, it's one of those things where maybe so they don't usurp like too much authority, instead of just removing content like that, even though it's categorically like untrue, vaccination is super important, rather to put near it the other argument, just so people can make their own choice about it rather than like silencing an opinion, even if that opinion's like dangerously untrue.
I think it has to do with a lot of the trolls on the internet.
Yeah, totally.
Making fun and
they start
diseases and technological advances that proven that vaccines have worked. For some people they don't, but that's more of a genetic defect on their end, I feel like. If Facebook wants to censor that material, I guess that's their choice. But with all the stuff that goes around on Facebook nowadays, I feel like they could be censoring a lot more important things. Sometimes that brings joy into my life, seeing people, kind of laying down the facts about why it's important to vaccinate their kids. And, especially with major outbreaks like the measles, where everybody thought that disease was cured through vaccinations. What's going to come up next? Things like polio or other diseases where, you know, you just don't know where they can originate from, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's becoming an epidemic, and the stem of all of it was based off the fact that there was a few ignorant people who didn't understand the reasoning behind vaccinations. Also, on the flip side of things, like you were talking about, Wazen, is, you know, a lot of times people feel that, you know, doctors and medical professionals and even pharmaceutical companies are adding things into the injections or putting in binary fillers that can adversely harm your body throughout the course of your life, which are some been proven true and some have not. However, in the grand scheme of things, it's turned out to work pretty well. And if Facebook decides that they don't want negativity to spawn a whole generation of people think it's okay not to get vaccinations, I kind of agree with them. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I could be wrong. That's the thing. Like, at this point, the vaccination thing is jury's like not out on that. It's decided. We know vaccinations are important, and misinformation of this is dangerous. And one might argue that there's got to be a line that, like, say misinformation about pedophilia and how that might be beneficial to society. Of course, they're going to nix that right out. There's no argument with that. And Facebook's argument in the contrary might be like, hey, we wouldn't let someone advocating the benefits of pedophilia voice their opinion here. Why would we let someone advocate something that could, I mean, lead to much more lives ended and an epidemic coming back that we previously cured? That seems pretty like epic thing to censor. But on the other hand, there could be something that we just don't know that's outside the realms of both of those. Say it becomes common knowledge that, like, tattoos are super unhealthy or something like that. Or, like, someone's pointing, I don't know. That's a horrible example. But
No, we're doing it. We're starting it, man.
yeah. So
Tattoos are terrible for your health.
sometimes having opinions that are unpopular on a platform like that is valuable for there to be debate and growth. And some things are more complicated and nuanced and more arguable. And maybe they're being mature by saying, like, this is past that already. This is the time to draw the line on this.
And listen,
but some would argue it's a slippery slope that we won't have debates on other things then.
A lot of people who start these arguments are misinformed. They don't have the facts. They're going off of, you know, people's basic fear instincts, you know, to just kind of draw that kind of obscene type of, reaction from the general population. And what happens is it snowballs. It's like the flat earth effect. Okay, whether you believe in it or not, or this or that, I think through physics and science we can kind of prove that that's not the case. But I think a lot of people aren't sold on it because people believe what they see and what they hear and not necessarily facts that have been proven over the course of thousands of years. And that's sad because everybody, you know, the information that's out there now, nobody knows if it's real or fake. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not that person that goes on Facebook and believes everything I read. You know, there's people out there that do that though, and they believe everything that they read to be gospel, and they go with it, and it doesn't just stay within the context of social media and Facebook, but then they take that platform out into the general public, and it's sad because they end up getting shut down on a lot of those situations because they're freaking wrong.
And that's what's great. And that's what's a better solution than censorship, is that concept of open discussion and letting the idiots and the trolls put out the misinformation and letting the truth come up and wash it over. And I feel that Facebook having a policy to put facts and data and reputable sources right up against the baloney is much better than the idea of just censoring the baloney. Because what happens is people are going to get the same baloney somewhere else, and it'll be a new thought to them. It'll be like, I've never heard that the earth could be flat, and they'll look into it more, and they'll start this whole thing because they found their own channel to find the baloney, rather than having the truth right next to the baloney on the platform they would have found it at to begin with that.
Yeah, and it might not even like make a difference because you could find it, like you're saying, like YouTube or any number of
censorship's
blogs
not the answer, even with horrible, disgusting things. The answer is truth right next to the horrible, disgusting things.
Yeah, but you know, what you gonna do? Ain't no one gonna believe it anyway. All right, we got some sad news, and it. Our good buddy, the Mars rover, is declared dead.
Space news.
Yeah. He's I think his last message was it was somewhere like last year. It was a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's been it had died and wind blew the dust off the solar cells and it recharged and had another life and more research. This is Opportunity, by the way.
Yeah.
Old Oppie. But they've finally declared it too late, too dusty, too buried.
Bro,
After about like 8 months or something.
Was that been on Mars for over like 15 years or something? That thing was launched in like the late 90s, wasn't it?
I think it was 2004, 2003.
I was gonna say early
Okay.
noughties, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's a considerable long lifespan considering most of the cars on the road today don't even last.
I know.
Right.
We keep doing that though. We keep making these space probes that last way longer. The Voyagers lasted way longer. It was
We
so
can't make a
great.
car that runs off of a battery for 15 years, really? But you could put a Mars rover out there for 15 plus years and
You know, they
it
have-
runs forever, huh?
That that one was solar, but the newer ones and also the old probes like the Voyager and stuff, the Voyagers were nuclear. Is like this little nuclear unit.
That's
How cool is
dangerous.
that?
Oh yeah, that thing blows up on Mars. Who knows what kind of chemical reaction we could be blowing up planets by putting nuclear power on them.
No, it's like chill nuclear though.
Oh,
It's clean coal.
it's chill nuclear.
It's just clean. It's clean coal, you guys. It's
Tell
fine.
Kim Jong Un that. Yeah.
It's like that handshake nuclear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is like I kind of had like a pang of sadness when I heard the news. I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad, because its last message was, my battery is low and it's getting dark, and that was like the last message it sent back to Earth.
Whoa, that's morbid.
Right? It's kind of
Yeah.
sad.
It said that like of its own volition, like it's.
It was probably
someone
like programmed in
it to
there. It
say
was
it's
probably
getting
like
dark.
programmed in there,
God, that program that's like the last message
right?
that the Mars rover will ever say is that it's getting dark out here.
Just
Right.
from like a tech perspective, the idea that it would send like, okay, ASCII encoded characters, it's getting dark. Not like, okay, this power level or something, and someone interprets it that way.
Yeah.
Just like blows my mind. Like, why did they program that in there?
right. Probably
So-
to add a little like, humanness to it.
That's
and its
insane.
messaging.
I guess maybe it's modern enough that that might be data that like amateurs can get, because a lot of science stuff like that, you can actually go and see some of the actual data and participate.
Yeah.
So I know there was some of that with some of the roverings, but I never got into it. Like they'd have times when you could like tell the rover where to go on the other planet. Like you'd submit, like you could say, "Hey, go look at this rock," and enough other people wanted to look at that same rock, the rover would go look at that rock, like in a week or two or something.
Oh no.
That was
shit.
a
I just
time,
wonder
yeah.
what was the most fascinating thing that the rover found on Mars.
Little people.
Aliens.
They didn't tell us that though. They didn't
Right.
say anything. They're like, "Oh, well, we're gonna keep that secret, okay?"
Oh my gosh, we have had like the worst times with chat moving to YouTube and Twitch, and as soon as we're back on Facebook, the chat's fucking back alive. Welcome,
of
everybody.
course.
So, what up, Sarah? Sarah's over in Michigan. My cuz, howdy. Also, Jonathan asked what we think about the Facebook AI. So, is there? I'm familiar with Facebook AIs, plural, like ones that they've used for image recognition and stuff, but I'm not sure which one he's talking about. Is there a newer, more generalized Facebook AI going on?
I don't know. Is like Facebook just the AI now?
Holler at us, Jonathan, with some more details, and we'll dive in. Maybe it's something for next week, opinion-wise. So, that space, oh man,
That's scary. That scares me. If
right?
I heard that in space,
Shit's about to
immediately
go
shit
down.
myself, dude. Immediately.
And I want to hear anything in space. So
Yeah,
that's
are
like,
you
why do I
hearing
hear
that,
that?
bro?
Oh no,
You're fucked.
something's banging into me right now. Oh man.
All right, so this one, we're going to get a little gross with this one, right? All right, so home dude Zach was having problems with his little man downstairs renting the old underwear apartment. And instead of going to the doctor, I guess there's this British TV show where people go on and talk about sexual issues they're having. And so he goes on this show and talks about my willy. It won't function sometimes.
No.
Right? And so they
This
go
news
through,
changed me. Like,
yeah,
alert, you
it's really
guys.
it's really gnarly, but they go through it, he talks about You know, he's uncircumcised, and the head kind of started swelling up, and he can't pull the foreskin back and all this.
Okay, warning, fast forward, but it's probably not as bad as you're already thinking. So
Yeah,
don't
no, I'm
fast
not
forward.
going to get all, like, gross about it, but...
No, it's actually not as gross as I'm leading into. I'm just being dramatic.
But, you know, it turns out no one ever told the dude that...
Wait. Shout out Josh from Viva Ska Radio on RadioVegas.rocks. Because ska is just one form of life that's delightful. Anyway, back to this person's poor wiener problem.
Yeah, so it turns out that no one ever told him to wash under the foreskin.
Yeah, he didn't know to like wash that far. He thought
for 24 years of his life.
the fact that he was literally afraid to pull it back that far is like, I don't know. Hold on there. Pause.
I know, right?
What's behind
No
there?
one's ever pulled that back that far. So.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, like,
I'm sure it was.
It like
lovely.
glued up in
Listen,
there.
this was in Europe. This was in what? Great
Britain, yeah.
Okay, they have a problem with hygiene there, guys. Okay, it's
Oh, is that a
it's
thing?
a little known secret from people that live in that area that they're not the most well kept, clean people.
I don't think
I'm
that's
not
a fair
generalizing the
generalization.
whole area. I'm just saying, look at Austin Powers. That's all I'm saying.
That's
Okay.
so accurate.
Listen, I'm just using that as a very blanketed generalization of a whole entire country right now. And I know I'm gonna get some shit over that. Like, well, you know, Austin Powers in the second movie, he got his teeth fixed in this. Listen, the far-fetched idea of circumcision, you know, that happens all over the world, and generally, you know, Western cultures and civilizations. You know, and I also want to just say, you know, if you are washing your body, I would assume that some water and some soap's going to kind of trickle down that area and sort of, you know, maintain some sort of level of cleanliness there. I'm just going on a limb and saying this guy probably doesn't take showers very often. That's all I'm saying.
No, he definitely, his gentleman's time hasn't been very thorough. I'll give him that.
Yeah, totally.
But what's grosser yet is in the article he's had a lot of sex.
Yeah. He talks about that.
Even more weird.
Just toss it in there and don't even like do much with it. I don't get it.
Just toss it in there.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't even look at it. Just go on, jam it in the slide. Go on, bro.
Apparently. So that's what we're looking at there. Because, okay, I really, I'm circumcised and I thought I was missing out on something. I thought maybe this is genital mutilation. Maybe there's feelings I should have that naturally I would have that I'm not having. And I read this article and I'm very content with my circumcision now.
Unfortunately, I don't think that was your choice at the time.
No, but I'm totally, I feel like I'm not missing shit.
You can't be mad. That's like saying if your parents vaccinated you and then you feel like, oh, if I had the measles, I might be a more complete person because what's life with what would life be without vaccination?
Yeah.
You know, I know also from many uncircumcised testimony that like it can be well maintained. But it sounds to me like another little tiny armpit to deal with. Yeah, right? It's like another fucking danger zone.
Yeah.
Well, I know the whole area is, but I mean, this at least buy me time. It's like one dude wipe versus two dude wipes. Shout out sponsor, dude wipes.
Shout out to the dude wipes.
Could you hand me a packet of them just because it's
yeah.
relevant real
Let's
quick?
Get these dude wipes going here,
Yeah,
bro. We gotta do
product
some
placement.
placements.
It is literally a sponsor. I do. Did you know it's illegal in America to like,
Which
hella
ones? These ones right here? Let's
bring
do
it
the big
all?
pack.
Yeah, the big pack. If I like pretended like this was something I had heard of and loved before they sponsored us, it would be not just dishonest, but actually one of the few things in like freedom of speech, like open democratic media America that actually be illegal. So under penalty of law, I have to admit you that this is a sponsor, but I would love them anyway, regardless. But that's all our sponsors pass that
Okay,
test.
I feel like this is a little sexist right here. So it's dude wipes. Now are there chick wipes?
Well, no.
Or do you guys categorize all baby wipes as chick wipes?
No. Far from it. It's in how we define a dude.
Is this a niche product here?
Like when I'm hanging out with friends of either gender, they're my dudes. That's the thing. You're in a dude category. We've got female listeners like my cousin Sarah. Totally my dude. You know?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It's
I
like
can get down on that.
Yeah.
like when chicks get together and they have fun, they'll call it going out with the guys.
Just real quick, if we were to give a accurate representation of dude wipes, what is like the overall consistency, the smell, how it feels?
Oh, great question. There's very little to them on the scent category that could be allergenic.
Okay.
But they still do smell good. It's just not a powerful smell.
Okay.
Mild smell, quick evaporating, powdery soft without talc. So
Okay.
you dry in a way that doesn't leave you squeaky. You get some powder to it going on.
Okay,
then too.
so in case you got a lot of friction down there, it's not gonna.
Yeah, squeaky clean's not good for that.
Junk.
No,
right?
you want a soft clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you sold that.
Oops, I totally.
You sold it and then you.
I meant that sound.
Wrong sound. That's why you gotta label that thing, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Okay?
You know, you're the first guest that's really like told us. You know, that's some powerful insight that you could like label these things.
Listen, I'm not trying to
Right.
reinvent the wheel here and just give you some general ideas, guys. Okay.
I love it. Hey, reinvented wheels make the world roll on, right? Onward.
Straight on down that hill.
Okay, are we ready for the next thingy?
Sure, why not?
That was the vault door opening on the
Oh, I
next
thought that was
thingy.
like the SVU Special Victims Unit.
Yeah,
Little,
the special victims
Also.
vault, the vault of special victims.
we are all special victims here in this here vault.
Yes.
Yes.
You and I, we're all special victims together.
Special. All right.
So we got a dude in Jamaica wins the Jamaican lottery, which is a thing, and you know, because there's always some worry about like claiming a big jackpot, right? Because then they can make you put your identity out there, and you got to worry about like scammers coming out of the woodwork. Suddenly,
Yeah, this is smart.
all these like cousins that you never heard of, they're like, "Hey, remember me from when you were a baby?" Like, no, I don't actually. But so dude shows up to collect his winnings wearing the Scream mask from that classic horror movie, Scream.
I feel like he's half up to something smart here, because I mean, you do want to deal with the lottery anonymously. The horror stories are legion, but that mask, like I would have been like at least like a I don't know, a friendly mask of some kind.
Maybe that's all he had. Wait, how much did he win in the lottery, by the way? Did they say?
Yeah, he won 158.4 million in Jamaican dollars,
Okay, let's break
which
the,
is
we have American
which is
conversion
1.1
He won like
million.
$12.
there. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
No, it's 1.1 million in U.S. currency.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a little chunk of change right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, I guess Jamaica must be a little bit different because in the United States, when you hit the lottery, depending on what state you live in, you are
Sharing it
either
with people?
not allowed to remain anonymous or you are. So certain states like Arizona, you can remain anonymous, but if you buy your ticket in California and win, that's public. Public domain. So
Wow.
I would say, based on the fact that Jamaica's a small country, okay, you just won $1 million. If you go out anywhere, somebody's gonna recognize you immediately.
Right.
This is a win-win. Okay, I think for the most part, I don't care what mask you're wearing. If you're wearing a paper bag in your face, you're hiding your identity because there's some thieves out there, and even if it's your own family members at that point, and who's to say you can't say no? But I know how people are. Hey, I got some money. I'm gonna give it away. Here's some for you. Here's some for you. You know, if you don't want to be generous with your money, this is the way to go.
Well, it's not, generous is one thing, but man, getting mobbed is another. I mean, people get murdered and stuff over that lottery tip. No thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, like, there's just endless stories about people who win the lottery and just like their luck goes to shit.
Yeah.
Or they just like are really bad at managing all that money, or they get scammed, or it's just, man, you're like, yeah, I'd love to win the lottery until you hear all the horror stories of like everyone that's ever won the lottery.
Yeah. It's like,
It's a lot like that, yeah.
I
Just
know
do that one like 10 times in a row, and it's just like that.
there's been lots of opportunities for it that I've neglected, so I'm making up for lost time.
Yeah, good, nice.
We should just have one whole episode of just sound effects.
Oh God,
All just 500 sound effects in a row.
That sounds like season 1.
no, I.
Oh man, season 1 is so, it's different ways.
Hey, you gotta learn and grow, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of learning and growing in season 1. I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. You look at historically back at any season ones of any
Right.
show, okay? The
Oh, yeah.
evolution of the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 seasons. You look back on that one season, like The Simpsons, for example, how primitive that shit was.
Oh yeah, perfect
Yeah.
example.
And, you know, you take one good idea and you build and you grow off it, and next thing you know, you're in your best friend's garage doing a podcast every Friday from 5 to 7 and with your friends, and, you know, it can only go up from there. So don't be ashamed of season 1, Wazin, okay? Okay?
That's right.
Don't be ashamed.
No, you
It's a
guys.
good season.
I hope everyone goes there and checks it out and like finds out what I'm right or not about it. You know, maybe you find out. You judge for yourselves and
Yeah.
help our stats, you guys.
All right, what do we got? All right, real quick. Follow up to a couple weeks ago, we had that story of the USB stick found in the seal poop.
Yeah.
Right. So, quick recap. Right.
This is so great. Where this goes.
I feel like
The,
there's a
the
better
new
sound
detail.
effect for that, bro.
That's my quick and dirty snacker one.
Yeah. So, like, quick recap. These researchers who collect seal poop for some reason, I'm not sure why. Doesn't matter.
Someone's gotta.
They had this they collect the samples and then they log them and then they freeze them because they collect a lot of samples and then they move through them eventually. So this one sample was frozen for a year. They got it out to do their tests, whatever they're doing on it, and they found a USB stick that was frozen for a year. And it turns out that it still worked. So they're trying to find the owner. And it turns out the owner was one of the researchers, or was the exact researcher who collected that sample. And then just like never, you know, that was all she did. Never heard about it again. So she found it, but then they were asked, like, wondering, well, how did the USB get in the poop? Right? That's the big mystery, because it wasn't just like laying on top of the poop, or like she would have seen it, you know.
Yeah, another researcher verified that they were sure that the USB drive had traveled through a seal. It couldn't have been in the poop outside of the seal.
So that means that she probably dropped it somewhere, and then a bird or some creature grabbed it, maybe ate it, and then that creature got eaten by that seal that she collected the dropping for, specifically.
Yeah.
So very, very weird.
So she collected the dropping with her own flash drive that she had lost earlier.
Yeah.
There's that. Well, the thing is, there's just that few people around there.
Yeah, that's true.
If someone dropped a flash drive and someone found a flash drive in a poop, it's probably the only person that's around there
Yeah.
doing both those things.
But she logged the sample. Why didn't she log another sample? I mean, maybe if there's a low population of seals, too. I don't
First
know.
of all, where are you finding this seal shit from? Is it
Where
in
is
the
this?
water?
I think maybe they just shit on the beach.
They follow them around with a little
They just shit on their
depository
little.
bag
They
there
just
or
shit on their little
something.
rocks.
Well, some of the seals are given diapers.
What?
They follow the seals around. Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, that story to me just, that's how technology's ruining the world. Okay. See, when a seal can't just eat its, natural food source, and it has to get introduced to some sort of, electronic device, and that's a sad thing though, because, who knows? What are seals eating in the ocean? They're eating anything, really, at that point. If they're willing to digest a USB stick, they're probably eating anything that's on the seafloor. That's the sad part about it, though. I mean, if I was going to say, the moral of the story is don't drop your USB sticks or your trash anywhere near or around the ocean, okay?
Yeah, be careful with that
Yeah,
stuff.
be careful. Especially straws, okay, guys?
Yeah, straws, man. They really give you more straws than you need everywhere. We're being bombarded by straws. And if we totally took a step back and maybe wanted less straws, even if we really want straws in our lives, then, people are going to want to make money with straws again. They're going to make some biodegradable straws, some composty straws, some little shit straws, and we'll have those. And we'll be all into straws again, and straws will be back.
I just feel like, for some people, straws are necessary, okay? For the 99.9% of the population that's lazy as shit and can't pick up the bottle to their lips, I pretty much say this to you. You're the reason why these animals are dying, okay?
I think
All
the
right?
lid being made of the same stuff of the straw, if you make that lid shaped like a sippy cup, you're not really solving much because it's the same material as the straw.
That's a good
But
observation.
if the lid is paper as well as the cup being paper, then we're onto something. It just turned into some fungus
All I'm
eats
saying
them.
is how hard is it to go like? You ever see anybody drink beer through a straw? And yes, it happens. It's mostly women, and you know they're trying to not, you know, be they're on their first date, and you know they're trying not to be a sloppy drunk. They drink out beer out of a straw. I've seen it.
That's like the biggest red flag ever. That's
Yeah,
you just
if you're
like
at
you just
first date-
immediately leave.
Like you're
That's like immediately leave material right there.
that's like a maintenance thing. Like you
Yeah,
need a
that's
straw.
high maintenance right there. Who knows what else she's gonna be not using her mouth for? You know what I mean? If she's too afraid to put the cup to her lips, then that's enough right there to tell you it's time to move on, guys. Okay.
man.
But all I'm saying is that straws
So
are
good.
attributed to the overall laziness of the general population. And if people just, you know, were able to just pick it up and put it to their lips, I feel like this wouldn't even be a non-issue,
Yeah.
right?
Make a little sacrifices to save a little planet. A little bit of
Yeah.
planet.
True that.
Right.
True that.
All
I
right,
just
we're at-
reuse my straws. I'm like, no more. I've got my straw for the week. And I spend time with it, and then after when I'm done, I light it on fire. And I don't
So you're
breathe in the
burning
fumes.
chemicals in the ozone.
And then
I mean, it literally defeats the fucking purpose.
and then we take the melted plastic and dump that in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he turns that into the guitar picks, dude, okay?
Oh
That would be
yeah.
That is a
sweet.
smart
That would be the
idea.
move, though.
Straw picks. Oh, I think we just
Straw
invented
picks.
something. Straw picks.
Get ready for our next merch. Listen, I have a stamper that stamps pics out of credit cards. So it's just a matter of melting down the straws into like some kind of flat thing, and I stamp away, you guys. Straw picks, get ready. Grease
Okay, everybody
conversation.
send your straws to Lawson at 4795 East Sahara. That's in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh,
No, I'm joking.
man. You guys should just said my actual address. Don't.
Bro, 2 weeks from now, you're going to have like your whole house filled with straws. It's going to be great.
I love it.
You're going to thank me for that.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
There you guys.
And we're at our first quarter.
Oh no, I'm so glad you noticed, you guys. We've got that. See that you guys terminology. That's supposed to be inclusive. That's male and
Dudes.
female homies.
Dudes.
Yeah, those lady dudes too. All about it.
Dudettes, as I like to call them.
But why overcomplicate things? We don't say actresses anymore. They're all actors.
Hey, listen, you know what? Some people don't like to be generalized into one category. It's like when you walk into a place, you go, "Hey guys," and then everybody's like, "Hey," and then there's that one lady's like, "I'm a lady."
Well, I point at her individually and I make sure I single her out awkwardly, so that
So thoughtful. What a gentleman right here.
it's so shows how different people want different things though. Because some people would love that, like they want that special attention. Other people are like, they want to look like
Awkward.
no gender and not have this come up in conversation at all.
Yeah.
I understand that too. Why make a deal? You know what I do want to make a deal about though is Jesse Ray's barbecue. And speaking in that moment of commercial chug.
It's always good watching Kim shove meat in that hole.
Jesse Ray's doesn't shove it down your throat, though.
I shove it down my throat.
Because once that meat touches your lips, you'll be begging for more.
So visit them, Jesse Ray's, 5611 South Valley View on the corner of Valley View and Russell.
Some amazing, reasonably priced barbecue that's delicious. Won Best Barbecue Sauce last year
And again.
and again this year. Make sure to check them out. It's ridiculously convenient and even more ridiculously delicious. If you're in Vegas, you go to Jesse Ray's Barbecue. Their corn is absolutely amazing. I'm a fan of corn anyways.
So visit them, Jesse Ray's, 5611 South Valley View. Mention Radio Vegas. Rocks, get 10% off, everybody. And they also do catering. That sounds amazing.
Hey, if you want a longer break, you can have it. But
I'm good.
we also have interstitials, so I'm not done. So you can keep fast forwarding if that's what you do. But I wouldn't, because these are some juicy ones. I'm wearing these fellows right now. Kicker headphones. We're going to hear someone's opinion about it for like 20 seconds. But my opinion's more important, and I love them. I love them a lot. They've survived so much, and they still sound good, and we've had them for a while. They're a killer sponsor. I love these headphones. Oh, also they're not super bassy like you'd think for something that like a company's super into, like subwoofers for cars is where I knew Kicker from, and they're well balanced. I mean, the bass is full and rounded, and they still smell good after me doing this and everyone else's stinky head, and I'm getting no bad smells from them after all that. Panel gaps. Remember people bug Tesla about the panel gaps when the doors don't always line up perfectly? It's a new auto manufacturer. Fucking tight panel gaps.
Kicker Audio. Living loud.
loud. I gotta tell you, these are amazing headphones, so please go out and purchase Kicker. These things are sweet. My studio headphones are like $400, and they don't bleed. If you're a musician out there and you record your music, you don't want any kind of bleed at all, because, you know, the music bleeds through, it comes through on the microphone, and if you're a singer, that kind of sucks. Kicker Audio. Living loud.
Living loud. We're living so loud. Yeah. Oh, and when you live so loud, and like it's things get moist, and sometimes things grow in the moisture, and then you deal with it this way.
Dude wipes.
Stink nuts.
Oh, so gross. You just feel how gross.
Yeah.
You're like, you want somebody to go down on that?
You're like, or what is that? Is that swamp ass? You're like, yeah, actually.
You feel like you could just scoop the goop. It's
That's
so
gross.
But that's what it feels like. Like, these girls don't understand what it's like to have balls. So we have dude wipes to clean that up.
And it totally helps, I'm not gonna lie.
You take a quick dude shower down there.
For every awesome, stanky, and highly questionable situation, quick dude shower. DudeProducts.com.
That's a thing, the dude shower. There's large format dude wipes that you can just wipe your whole system down. And it's a good time.
If you gotta, waking up late to work because you're out partying all night, like we are wont to do sometimes, you ain't got time for the full shower ordeal.
Yeah, if you're living turned up, then, dude shower. Anyway,
Do it.
enough about such things. Mention RadioVegas.rocks to any of these folks, and good things happen to everyone and everyone involved. But also tell your friends. We hope you're pulling away some useful nuggets here. Share them with your buddies and your homies and your grandparents. And let's keep going. So let's build up that suspense. There's a moment now when we learn and grow together. That time is upon us. Behold.
All right, so this is. Have you guys seen that? Like a few videos have come out where they've taken Obama or some other politician and basically like altered the footage and just make them say whatever they want and like match the lips, and they just alter it perfectly. Have you seen those?
Yeah, it's like a CGI type thing, right?
Yeah.
Like deep fakes?
Yeah, deep fakes. Yeah.
It's I think it's in the deep fakes category, but sometimes people do face swaps for deep fakiness too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But so there's another one. There's actually a website for this one. It's kind of interesting. It's called thispersondoesnotexist.com. And it's this similar, but it's like an algorithm that just puts together a person's face that doesn't actually exist, and it just generates random faces all the time. And they look fucking real as fuck, man.
Yeah, they like look like someone that...
Yeah, like you would probably know.
But
like,
what's funny is like they probably actually look exactly like real people. Because we're all just swaps of folks anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, wait, you're trying to show a picture. What am I?
Yeah, well, I mean...
Oh, you're showing her, and then I'm going to show
those are
these
just real people, but they're not. I don't know. It seems kind of frightening technology. Like,
how far down is that article real quick?
I don't remember, man. You're asking me.
You don't know what you clicked on?
You're asking me hard questions, man.
No, so we're going to show these people this crazy... fakefaces.com. That's not the right thing.
This person does not exist. .com.
Oh, I'm just gonna go there dangerously. I'm gonna
Yeah, just do it, man.
Check it out. I've got this live. So
generate a bunch of random faces, and what if
I type this URL in wrong and it's like something we get banned for? Get ready. Whoa, that looks like did you get the same like lady? Or is it just random every time?
No, it's random. Yeah, it just randomly generates faces.
Okay, this person's bottom of his glasses give it away a little bit because his glasses disappear at the bottom, and there's like a movement right here. You guys can't see what I'm talking about. Haha.
No. Yeah, no. I mean, but there's
It's a
like
realistic
little weird little details that give it away, but at like a glance, I mean, you just look at it for a couple seconds, you wouldn't know.
Wow.
You'd be like, "Who is that? Your cousin?
These look like.
Is that Johnny? I haven't seen Johnny in years."
That's kind of, I don't know. I feel like that's a different person's chin, barely.
I don't know, it's kind of like creepy to me though.
So
that
far,
stuff is out
all
there.
of these, but the one glitch on the glasses have looked dead on. Like there's no way.
Listen, I feel like this is technology that is going to catapult the catfish industry.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like think about that. oh yeah, I've been talking to this guy, and then you try to like Google image search that person and nothing comes up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like you're like, this has got to be a real person, but it's like your
a weird layer
65-year-old creepy neighbor down the road that's just trying to date you online so his friends think he's cool and stuff. But
for whatever
there's
reason.
no real purpose for any of this technology, guys.
Right?
It really
seems
isn't.
that way,
Other
yeah.
than to abuse it and use it against people, there's no real reason to have, especially when they do it with famous people and politicians and stuff, because
Yeah, the
that stuff
deepfakes
is
are
so real.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
could be going on there and saying a bunch of just dumb shit. And, it's like people would just be like, listen, I heard Obama today say, death to America and, all this stuff. And they'll believe it because, unfortunately, the society we live in, they're very naive, so they believe a lot of this stuff. So, unfortunately, for the people that came up with the software, they're opening like a Pandora's box of just like a conundrum of confusion here, okay?
Oh no, we'll have to judge people by their repeated actions instead of the random stuff they say. We can't do that.
That's what?
This person like half loaded. She's got pixel mouth. I just have to point that out. It's funny to me.
I wonder how many times you have
She
to
didn't
do
get
that
vaccinated for that.
before.
How would a computer person think to make this person?
Yeah, it's weird. They add like
That
scars
person's like
and
complicated.
yeah.
Like 6 or 7 different profiles of middle-aged women, and they just mash them all together. That's
I
like
mean,
somebody's mom right there.
The skin wrinkles are just like really suspiciously legit. Like,
So you said it's an algorithm that comes up with these?
Yeah, it just like generates these faces. It doesn't
Yeah,
really
that's
go into
scary.
detail like
you
how
talk
it does
about
it.
Facebook AI and this guy here, and like it's stuff like this that makes that stuff possible. Like for like the world to be taken over by computer
people, mind you, that just like want to hear this fake person say what they want to hear. People that actually get action done, even if they look like a different race and a different gender every time they've got their face recreated, they're going to have a certain profile and an identity that's consistent, that they've verified, that's going to have good or bad works. So there's going to be a way, there's going to be vetting of people to some extent.
I think they should have a dating website for really lonely people, and they just pick some weird algorithm person, and like they put all the characteristics you want in them, and you can FaceTime them and talk to them, and pay a monthly fee.
And you just have a long distance relationship the whole time.
You're technically in a long distance relationship, which happens like all the time, anyways. But at least you're satisfied with the fact that like this is like the person you really want. You can pick and choose. They do this stuff over in Japan all the time, where they have the real dolls and stuff like that they can program them to do or say whatever they want, facial expressions, all that stuff. I just see this technology here being kind of spun into like some weird, creepy dating app where people who are sheltered and don't have very good social skills will go and like pick out their favorite looking person or whatever their attributes are, and then they can like pay a monthly fee, and then they call them and talk to them. I'm coming up with so many ideas on the show today, Watson. I feel like I should copyright some of these things, because that's such an ingenious idea right there, that if they use that for anything other than what I just discussed, they're fucking wasting their time.
Here's what I like about this idea too. It sets people up that say are so unshallow that they really just want someone with a sexy personality for sexy conversation. They don't care what kind of blob they look like in real life.
And the best part is you'll never run into them on the street because they don't exist.
Yeah, blobs can just like love each other electronically all day.
Oh man.
Got that love blob.
We are coming up with some
No,
great
that's
ideas
like,
today.
well, this was, this was years ago, but for a period there was a service it was like a fake Facebook girlfriend, where you would like pay the service and they would create a fake profile of a girl, and she would like interact with your Facebook page and stuff to like make it look like you had a girlfriend.
Until you went to a party and everyone's like, hey, so where's Jessica at?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
oh, she had to work late again.
Yeah.
Always working late. That Jessica.
You find a real girl and your friends are like, that dick, he ditched that other chick like fast.
She was perfect for
Just
him.
kicked her to the curb. She was perfect.
and then your real girlfriend turns it around like, oh yeah, so you'd rather be with Jessica now, or
You missed the old Jessica days. She didn't ask you what you were up to.
Right. Even in like like you're saying in Japan, but they have like services where it's like rent a boyfriend, or no, it's like rent a cuddler or something, where someone just like comes and cuddles with you.
cuddle with you, and they'll listen to your problems.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you right now, in America, no willing and able man would ever sign up for that shit. Okay? No man. Listen, you can pick any broad off the road, and she'll sit and tell you all her problems and force you to cuddle her. Okay? But for some reason, in that particular foreign country, they have, I don't know what they call that, where they have the lack of, like, the ratio of men to women. I guess there's the women overpopulate the male population there, and so it's vice versa. It's one of those two.
There's a cuddler deficiency.
Right. So there is a deficiency where there's more women than men. So there's a market for that type of thing. But you know, I don't know if I've been willing to pay somebody without that emotional connection to them. Cuddling with them. Like,
you're not
I don't
paying
know
them
you.
to cuddle. You're not paying them for the cuddling. You're paying them to stop at cuddling. You're paying them to leave after the cuddling is done. Because, like, you can find, as a woman in America, you can find lots of dudes to cuddle you. The hard part is to get them to, like, stop at cuddling. Just, like, leave it at cuddling.
Yeah, okay, I can see where you're getting at there. So it's kind of like a low end, like soft porn kind of.
It's like you get your
like
cuddle,
prostitution ring, where it's like you're not really doing anything other than the cuddling aspect, and then you get the fuck out when you're done.
More like paying for a massage. You're paying for the professionalism. It's an experienced cuddle. And also the massage, you're paying for an experience. Any dude you can get to massage you as a lady, but you want an experienced massage, and you want to just be that kind of massage.
And like
you want it to be like an internal massage.
But if you know, if it comes down to it, at the end of that massage, it might turn into a little internal extraction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I bet that happens. Not as often as people want it to, though.
In this town, it does, baby. We're in Vegas. Happy endings on every corner of Chinatown. I ain't gonna fucking lie.
What's it like?
That brings us to our next sponsor. No, I'm just kidding.
Happy Feet. Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy.
Massage parlor.
Yeah, this dude. He's like, no, man. If you want to have, you got to go to the one with the feet on the window. That's
really?
how you know.
It's the foot ones?
Yes, it's always the feet ones, guys.
Whoa.
The best way to a woman's vajayjay's through her feet. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, it's a true story.
I don't know though.
so
I've never
funny.
confirmed, but just rumors.
Well,
Test it for yourself. Yeah.
Try it.
Ask everyone.
You go straight for the feet. You're in, dog.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's the portal.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now. Talk to a woman. What's the first thing she says when she gets home from work? Oh, my feet are so tired. I'm sore. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty.
Real talk though, you're totally right.
It's a true story.
That sucks to be you. Maybe
Listen, I don't know how many women you have on the show, Lawson, but I feel like you need
all
to
of them have enjoyed foot rubs from me.
I can only imagine. Yeah, you need to have a more. you need to have it. I'm not gonna lie. I think any woman enjoys a foot rub. But what I'm saying is that you need to get more of the women's opinions on things like this, because I'll tell you right now, you don't know until you try it. Okay.
Yeah. It's true.
You gotta try it before you knock it.
Try it out.
All right.
That's thick.
This is a weird one.
That's some thick fake faces.
I can't decide if this one is fake or not. I feel like it is satire, but it's like that double satire where it's like, this isn't satire.
This might be fake news that we're about to share.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
Sweet.
Because the first line is, this sounds fake, but really it's not. And that's like that super.
That's suspicious.
That's that deep fake stuff, but.
Is this the Daily Mail?
No.
Okay.
It's just some random one I found. I don't even remember where, but just a warning of, in South Carolina, authorities are advising citizens that it is entirely possible and probable that people will see the lizard man.
Oh yeah.
And or Bigfoot during the Great American Eclipse.
This is presented so seriously. Like, there's going to be this eclipse, and we really want people in this region, our citizens, to not be concerned if they see either a lizard person or Bigfoot. So don't panic. Don't bother the cops. It's okay. There's lizard people, by the way. Don't be concerned about them.
Right. Well, the police department had to send out this message. After watching this video, and it has a video attached of something that could be possibly Bigfoot off in the distance, And it does. After watching this video from nearby Boone, North Carolina, I think we can say with some confidence that proof of Bigfoot still eludes us. If you see Bigfoot, please do not shoot at him or her, as you'll most likely be wounding a fun-loving and well-intentioned person sweating in a gorilla costume.
Oh, so it's just such a common thing for people to go out costumed.
Pretend to be Bigfoot.
That they're like, hey, don't freak. It's really just freaks. Okay.
To like perpetuate the Bigfoot myth, I guess.
Yeah, apparently this makes sense. This is good for a law enforcement department of a city to be aware, to warn their citizens. They're like, we're not saying there's real lizard people. We're just saying there's lizard people though.
Yeah,
and, like you'll
like
shoot
the
a human.
picture.
Don't shoot him.
The picture of the like photo of the lizard man. It's totally a costume. Totally. There's no doubt about it.
Why are people putting themselves at risk of being captured, tortured, shot, maimed, and killed?
The laws.
Yeah, but that's some dark ass shit right there, bro. I mean, you gotta think about this. I think the stories of Bigfoots and Yetis and stuff stem back for thousands of years throughout, like, you know, cultural stories and stuff, right? And so you have to realize something. Somebody had to have seen something. There's got to be something out there, right?
So you're saying there's got to be some OG lizard man?
There's an OG lizard man. There's definitely a Sasquatch out there somewhere. I don't think it's in America, though. I think if it's anywhere, it's gonna be in Russia. You know, the eastern the Russian area. What do they call that?
There would be like a community of them, the Eastern Bloc.
There has to be. Listen, where do you just see one Yeti? There's got to be a Yeti family.
Yeah,
there's no way that there's like 500 Yeti sightings over the course of the United States every year, and you're only seeing one at a time.
It's the same one.
Is it the same one?
He walks the entire United States every year.
Are they all on the same, like, do they all know, like, we're after them? Do they all know that, like, it's cool not to hang out during the daytime? Are there rules to being a Bigfoot or a Yeti or a lizard man? I just feel like if these creatures were among us, it would obviously be well documented. We would know about it. The government definitely would have killed them a long time ago because they are a direct threat to our survival. Absolutely.
It'd be a reality TV show right now, like an actual, like, not just finding Bigfoot, but it'd be a much better reality TV show.
Yeah, I enjoyed Harry and the Hendersons when I was a kid.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Dude, that was like one of the greatest. And I think everybody kind of got like Bigfoot fever over that, you know. And then also, you know, back in the 60s when that film came out, where the grainy film of the Bigfoot walking on the beach, you know, the one that's very highly disputed. And
the Zapruder
they always
film.
analyze that, like, on the Discovery Channel at least once a year. There's somebody just breaking down the film, like, freaking frame by frame. And
the same film.
Yeah, the same damn film, you know. If this was a rampant issue and a problem throughout the United States and the world, trust me, we would know about it. And for people that dress up and go out there, you're asking to get shot, okay?
Yeah, like
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Same thing as if you dress up as a clown and go out in the middle of the forest with some balloons. Trust me, dude, I'm shooting your ass. Absolutely. You dead.
I guess we just generally shouldn't shoot mythical creatures. Even if we think it's not a person inside, say it's really a lizard man. Why would you shoot it then too? Why can't we meet him? Why can't we have dinner?
Yeah, maybe they're cool.
The internal human fear factor there.
I mean, I see regular lizards and I'm not like, ooh, I want to stomp it. I'm like, cool,
all right, what
lizard.
about spiders? What if there's a giant spider man? Oh wait, hold on, that's dumb.
A man spider.
Man spider. Okay, there was a Spider Man.
That's what they call me, the man spider.
I mean, if you found a huge spider, you wouldn't want to kill it. I mean, it's some people are scared of other things.
No, you're right about the inclination, for sure.
Yeah.
But what if the man spider is just out like keeping the man fly away? and man fly's a huge dick, right? So he's doing a good. He's helping everyone out. It's like, trust me, you don't want to meet this guy, right? He never fucking leaves.
This website is crazy.
Yeah, it's hilarious, man.
There's the most evil U.S. government experiences on humans. We're not getting into that.
No. We should, though. That's for another. We should do a conspiracy episode sometime. Just lay it out on people.
That website was so crazy that it crashed. Chrome was just like, I can't even handle this.
All right. So This is a really interesting article because I felt this in my bones for a long time. But these guys are doing research on just sleep patterns, I guess, and how they relate to the normal 9 to 5 workday. And they're finding that people like myself who have a hella hard time going to sleep at night, people's brains are just different, basically. And some people like to stay up late, and they're just urged to do so by their brains, and that's natural for them. And then some people like to, there's some loonies out there who like to go to bed early and get up early. I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing, but yeah. No, but anyways, he's like kind of pushing for more flexibility, and we should be more open-minded about 9 to 5 workday. All I'm saying is I don't like getting up early.
No.
That's the main point.
And we live in a society, the end, but like where things don't have to be on the same schedule. Everything's lined up for multiple schedules to exist, so it's not like.
Listen, I think we're spoiled. I think the 9 to 5 work schedule applies to everybody outside the state, because in Nevada, people don't even know what day it is, and they
that's true.
work 5, 6, 7, 8. They could be working 8, 9, 10 days in a row, all different types of shifts. I'm not gonna lie. In my job, I work 10-hour days, and I can go to work as early as 7 a.m. and I could be there as late as 3 a.m. in the morning. So it's hard because with sleep, especially, and the human brain is consistency has got to be the most valuable thing to a human when it comes to sleep.
Yeah.
If you have a 9 to 5 job, which I don't know whose job starts at 9 and ends at 5. Some people's do, but most people start off really early in the morning. And you know how people say, "Oh, I'm a morning person," or "You're not a morning person," or this or that. That's chemical makeup in your brain of how you're gonna respond to having either 5 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep or 10 hours of sleep or however many. I mean, last night I didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was rudely awakened at 6:30 to help somebody get ready for work, and then I had to go back to sleep for another 6 hours. So it's just different how your sleep patterns are and how you break things up in the course of the day, and how you fall asleep and all those things. Sleep's so important, though. It's so important. For sure. If you're not getting 7 to 8 hours a day, I feel bad for you, and the second thing is we're in America. We work ourselves to death. You look at European countries where they take 3-hour breaks in the middle of the day to hang out and eat lunch and take a nap and all that stuff. They got the life.
Yeah.
Like us here, we're modern day, mechanical animals, so to speak. We don't have to sleep at a certain time or wake up at a certain time if we don't want to or if we don't have to.
Yeah, businesses are paying people to sit around and waste productivity because they're hiring people for jobs that don't require 8 hours of work a day, but they're still important. Maybe they're just 6 hours a day important.
Yeah.
Maybe 30 hours a week is fine to make a living off of. I would rather be less rich and work less hours, which is a really weird way to frame that because I don't have enough hours or money. But if given the choice, if I'm making enough to be comfortable to afford 10 hours more a day to myself not working, that flexibility should be available. It shouldn't be so rigid to have to be these specific hour spans to get a job at all in certain categories. And it's wasted productivity. Another thing that we can look forward to that's compatible with that is that in all of the dreariness about robots taking everyone's jobs, and to preface this is becoming more of a concern than just the Industrial Revolution and factory workers and factory machines taking all the factory jobs away, and the loss of factories even doing production in America as much, and all the jobs that's lost. I think the solution is not to start making objects again and start bringing back manufacturing in the United States and just say, well, everyone should just pay more for their products. A better solution is what the millennials are doing in becoming the largest segment of the population generationally in America soon to become, if not already making that transition. This is a group of people that is valuing experiences over objects. So that solves everything when you have this more evolved point of view, because it is actually true the way the human mind works. There's multiple advantages in spending the same amount of money on an experience versus an object. Because even though you get to keep that object later, it becomes obsolete. You see friends with better versions of the objects. It loses its coolness. A tool is different. Invest in tools. That's great. That's, you make money with tools, or make art, make experiences with tools. But otherwise, spending money on experiences, which a tool can be part of that anyway. It's a side thing. So these money spent on experiences is money that you can't, money going to people with jobs that you can't replace with robots. You're not going to have everyone involved in a tourism hub and making experiences happen, whether they're performers, servers, guides, security. There's a million jobs that just blossom that are lower skilled jobs to replace the lower skilled jobs that we've lost in factories as tourism builds, as the experience economy grows. And it's only going more that direction.
Good point. Okay. I like the facts about, this, the millennial generation, as far as them being more in tune with the experience, which is true. But at the same time, let me just make a broad point. Okay, so you're worried about, that they go out for the experiences, but 90% of the time, what are they doing while they're trying to experience something? They're recording it on their phone.
Yeah.
They're on social media posting it. I
though.
walk into a restaurant and they're all taking pictures of their food. They think that they are in the moment and that they're enjoying these things, but really they're out of touch. And they're supplementing that with their electronic devices by thinking that I can go back and relive that moment and that feeling and that time, but you weren't in that moment and feeling because you were seeing things through the lens of your phone, or you were taking pictures of it, or you were not able to enjoy it. The thing with, especially, I think, old people of our age, like mid-30s, late 20s, is... we didn't have that luxury of having electronics at our fingertips. This was something that just kind of rolled out maybe in between 10, 15 years ago. So when I would go to a concert, one of my favorite things was, my favorite experience of the concert was getting as close to the stage as I could. But now you don't have to, because you have a phone that can
This is
zoom
great,
in.
though, because think about how few people can get close to the stage, yet how many more people can zoom. For one thing. Another thing
It's
is...
the opportunity to be able to put yourself at the front of the stage. What I'm saying is it's taking advantage of the opportunities that you have when you have them.
But this is a great problem. I'm not disagreeing that this is a problem, but it's the better problem to have than to have the hedonic treadmill of gaining possessions. And the same ranking happens, except your friends might care once about your possession. But if you go on a cool trip with cool pictures, people might genuinely enjoy seeing them, more likely than they'll seeing some stuff you bought. Not only that, but you actually can relive feelings you've had from pictures you've had of the experience, making that experience more lastingly valuable. And also the spirit of competition and kind of gamifies those stats that you get for posting these cool experiences. You go to the owl cafe and pose with an owl in Japan. That whole experience, as shallow as it might be, is so much better than a materialism kind of shallowness, because
it's all based on how people look at personal fulfillment.
Yeah, but it's much better.
If that's fulfilling to you, then do it. But
it's more likely to stay fulfilling than an object is, given one or the other. Like, people are going to do something hedonistic and self-promoting. They're going to do it anyway.
And the best point you
but
made
this
was...
is something more lasting and builds more economy.
The best point you made is investing in tools and not possessions, which is something that I think people get away from, because you look at things like designer clothing and shoes and cars and things like that, as opposed to new laptops, phones that are compatible with most devices, and tools that will enrich your experience. I think people they look at or tangible possessions nowadays either as a way to boost their social status or to enrich their cultural status. Or to give somebody that experience, of, oh, hey, look at me, look at all this money I got, look at all the stuff I can buy, this, and that. And then people can vicariously live through those people because they don't have those things. But at the same time, I think that I think yes, people should put down their phones or devices when it comes to certain experiences, because you're in my mind, when people are taking pictures, people always ask me all the time, why won't you take a picture of this? Why don't you this? Bro, my brain is the picture taker.
Yeah.
And anytime I want to recall that, what if I drop my phone in the water? Or what if something happens to my
Backs up to the
Facebook
cloud.
account? You know, I have those memories stored inside my brain. That's the most powerful computer than anything that ever exists on this planet, and it's proven. And
I
that's
don't
the thing. You
disagree.
gotta expand your brain power, bro. And when it comes to working, just last thing, because you got me on one. Okay, when it comes to working, you know, AI and computers and mechanical things that could take our jobs are not a bad thing. What are the corporations that own those machines, that are willing to shut us down economically and not provide us with the monetary things or the monies that we need to go ahead and support ourselves. By that, which I mean is, if you let the companies take over and replace people with robots instead of going in, and let's say the company allows you to buy in stock options to own your own robot that you own, that produces those things, and you get a stipend from that without having to work as hard, I feel like that's the trade-off.
It's like giving a loan to the corporation, and then you get to pull this corporate move as a little person and make money on an investment just by pooling your investment with a bunch of little people. That's a really neat idea.
Yeah,
and
I dig that.
That's a kind of micro investing that we don't really see a good example of. That could be
you know
part
what
of how we get involved with the robots.
So many big companies own everything, and you know, if they decide they're going to cut costs, and the first thing they do is when they get rid of manual labor, because it's a high dollar commodity. You have to insure it. You have to give it benefits. You have to, make sure that they're paying their taxes, all of those things. So why not, for a company to want to go low maintenance, to have a robot or something initiate the production and then leave what they would consider to be the liability off to the side, which is the humans. We are the liability.
The initial investment on the robot is so high, but the long-term benefits are great. So if you have humans help the company with that initial investment to then get interest on the corporation using the robot you adopted.
Right.
It's totally a job.
You own the robot. You are the robot. It's you bought, let's just say you bought a robot that can do your job.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they pay you to use your robot.
I love this because it's part of this reframing of the issue of not like, okay, we're going to lose jobs. No, or there's not going to be any jobs. That's not the problem. The problem is people not having any income.
Yeah,
if you can have income with something you don't consider a job, even if it functions as a job, everyone
wins. And then what is it, the first thing your boss talks to you about when you fuck up at your job is your efficiency level. You can't, a robot is always going to be efficient. It's going to do the same thing every time without any sort of differentiating of each job. So if you program the robot to do something every time the same way, human error is never going to be an issue. 90% of all problems that occur inside the workplace are attributed to human error.
So it's inevitable. We can't just say, don't make robots, have people do all the robot jobs forever. It's silly. But we can move to a society where people do different stuff for work. And lots of times it's going to be something social that requires a human element. So social skills are going to be big. But sometimes if someone's really not good in person social, those same social experience, like, they can be social in a chat thing, and customer service online is big. Companies need more and more people on those chat things that pop up to give you the personal help with the website. We're getting less automation in customer service. And I'm not saying everyone's going to have to do customer service, but there's going to be more work for entertainers.
That too. They'll find a way to have a sympathetic and charismatic robot to work you through why your Windows 10 won't open. It's
that's true. That is a thing. You know? There's a lot of that going on.
So as much as you hate to see it or things going on around you, technology is just the wave of the future. It's either going to engulf us and take us over, or it's going to take us under as human beings, or we could use it to our benefit and reap the money aspect of it to be able to survive in this world.
Yeah, and it definitely is going to take some paying attention to things and not just jumping to like kill all the robots or some crazy stuff. Anyway, did we go over the
We did.
6 o'clock
It's
break?
time.
Yeah, you guys, I've got something for you. Get ready. Check this fella out.
From top to bottom, the Golden Tiki is the most interesting bar in Las Vegas. It has so many hidden treasures inside that you need to go again and again just to take in the great decor you may have missed the first time. The Talking Tiki who puts on a show over the bar, or the black velvet paintings that tell the story of the pirate William Tobias Faulkner and his influence on the bar. You gotta love the Tiki-inspired ashtrays, including those that blow smoke when you leave a cigarette inside. Hey, don't steal them, that's not cool. Grab some friends and order the treasure chest used for the $499 VIP service, or the $35 scorpion bowls, or $45 zombie punches. The skeleton that puts on his own show, or the waterfall, the lucky tiki you need to rub, the twinkle lights. I could go on, but just come down to the Golden Tiki, 3939 Spring Mountain Road, and experience the hidden hideaway for yourself. Did I mention at the Golden Tiki you should look for the Easter eggs hidden throughout the bar? Return and you'll most likely discover new things you didn't notice before, like Wilson hanging out behind the bar, or Bigfoot's footprint. The Golden Tiki, 3939 Spring Mountain Road.
I love this commercial so much.
Yeah, it's great. Don't steal the ashtrays.
There's something you rub its belly. There's so
Yeah,
many things to discover in that commercial alone, let alone the Golden Tiki itself. But man, it's a place so cool that in the ad itself they have to ask you to please don't steal the ashtrays.
I know, you haven't even seen them, and then you're just, oh.
Golly.
I mean, you have to go just to see the ashtrays. Like, you hear that, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
All right, I got to see these. All right, like, who wants to steal an ash? They're just those little ugly black thing. You know, who cares about that? No, man. They're just some motherfucking ashtrays.
You're going to have a really difficult time not stealing the
Yeah.
ashtray there.
Yeah, they had to start chaining them to the bar. Man.
GPS in them.
Right.
Thanks, Scott Griffin. And then my buddies here, Smash Magazine. Check it out.
Hey, Radio Vegas listeners, looking for some great live performances? Well, check out these shows brought to you by Smash Magazine. On February 17th at Brooklyn Bowl, Be Like Max, La Resistencia, Drinking Water, Mata Mosca, Desert Island Boys, and our very own Junior Ska Boss and Selected Scream will be spinning from Viva Ska Radio. February 20th at 172 Dalton and the Sheriffs. March 9th at Backstage Bar and Billiards, I'd Set to Kill, Set to Stun. April 3rd at Backstage Bar and Billiards, Sabrina Benayam with Clementine Von Rudin. April 6th at Backstage Bar and Billiards, Mastiff, Take, Circus Sick, Side Effect, and Volterum. April 13th at Backstage Bar and Billiards, Never Ending Last Words, Hidden Scars, Quez Omega Res, and the DRP. April 18th at Backstage Bar and Billiards, Murs, Locksmith, and Kojo. April 28th at Eagle Airy Hall, Secrets, Navarasi, Guilty by Design, Travelers, Love Shark, and Awaken I Am. May 9th at Backstage Bar and Billiards, Combi Christ, Silver Snakes, and Embrace My Darkest Fear. May 10th at Backstage Bar and Billiards, Hub City Stompers, The Escapers, Wolfhounds, and Muertos Heist. June 1st at Backstage Bar and Billiards, The Bright Light Social Hour, and Swim. How do you get tickets for these shows? Well, that's easy. If you're going to be going to the Brooklyn Bowl, get your tickets at ticketfly.com. For tickets to shows at 172, go to ticketmaster.com. And for Backstage Bar and Billiards and the Eagle Airy Hall, you can get your tickets at eventbrite.com.
Oh man, Triple B is so cool. We were just talking about how we've played there a few times, and there's like a bookshelf behind the stage, and the green room is behind there, and you enter and exit the stage as the talent to go to the green room and back through this moving bookshelf door, like this secret bookshelf passage.
Yeah? Nice.
It is freaking cool. So yeah, holla, Smash Magazine. Anyway, perfect fun commercials there to come back. Oh man.
Oh God. Oh God.
Almost knocked
good
over.
Lord.
Speaking of commercials, this is Kicker, that sponsor. I keep flashing this thing because it is just such a killer Bluetooth speaker. It's called the Bullfrog, and you can just really club people with it. There's a, not that I'm advocating that naturally,
But if you had to, you could.
Self-defense, yeah.
big old battery. You can charge your phone off of it, or you can put this rubber in front of there and dip it in the pool all day. It's extremely water resistant, lasts a really long time. There's even a tripod stand on the bottom. This is just, you could use this as a PA. This thing is, we've killed this room with this thing. This is like one of the main things we listen to music in this room with. And there's like PA speakers under the table. And this bullfrog, like I don't even notice when it's that instead of the PA speakers. It's crazy. Sounds hyperbolic, sounds like I'm full of baloney, but you're not going to be pissed at this Bluetooth speaker situation. It's good. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. You know what I'm saying? You like it. So, suspensefully we return with...
Yeah, we'll get a little lighthearted fun one in here.
A lighthearted fun one happens right now.
So it was everyone's favorite holiday yesterday, if you want to call it a holiday even.
Oh yeah, shout out to Chris and Josh, by the way. Thanks for playing in the chat.
But this El Paso Zoo was offering a service where you can pay to have a cockroach named after your ex, and then they will feed that cockroach to a meerkat live on webcam, and it was broadcast. So if you got some really, you got some just pent up feelings that you need to get them out, you got to exercise the demons, exercise those demons right into a cockroach and feed it to a meerkat. I mean, that's a cool idea to raise some money for the zoo. I can dig it. And like, who cares about cockroaches, really?
I mean, the sad part is why are you feeding cockroaches to the meerkats, man?
They love them.
I watch Meerkat Manor all the time, bro. I'll never see them eat no cockroaches.
Is that kind of like low budget meal?
I feel like that's an inhumane way to feed a meerkat.
It looks like they like them. Like I Googled meerkat because I was like, NPR, you can't afford to put, with my National Public Radio money, a picture of a meerkat in this article. You can't, like, use the free Wikipedia.
Because it's owned by AP, and they don't want copyright infringement, okay?
Oh, yeah, that's probably AP's article. Yeah, no. So I Googled meerkat, and, like, next to a picture of a meerkat, there's, like, some roaches. So apparently...
Okay, so maybe that's their drug of choice.
They definitely like bugs. Oh, you know what, though? It's from CBC's... like someone else's article on the same thing.
On the same
thing. They got pictures of cockroaches and meerkats for their article. Thanks, CBC. Anyway, so we also judge other people's media on our media.
That's
what
fair.
we do.
That's fair. Yeah, why not?
We review news. We're like news reviewers. That's a funny like way to frame our format.
Yeah.
I'm happy we have a format, y'all. That's why you got to tell your friends and neighbors. Greasy Conversation. They finally have a format. Check it out. Season 3. Boom.
Season 1, we were a little bit on the fence about the format. Okay. We've ironed out the kinks, and now we're rolling steady with the new format. Yes.
No offense to some of our guests in Season 1, though. We had some of the best guests on that one. Though. Gotta have them again.
Wazen, could you think of somebody in your life that you just genuinely don't like, and in their honor, their dishonor, name a cockroach after them, and then have that fed to a meerkat? Do you have anybody in your life? I mean, let's just think about this.
This is a great question. Game time.
Yeah.
Okay, so holler at us in the chat. Who'd you like to name a cockroach after? To have a meerkat eat that cockroach. Look at that sweet meerkat's face. Look at his smiley, dignified little gentleman. He looks like he has a haircut like the guy that, like in a Dickens novel, that's not the mean guy, or the guy that's like putting up with it, and his hair's like parted over. It's like flustered and trying to be dignified. Yes, Mr. Scrooge, yes. Right. That guy, that's this meerkat right now.
Meerkats are cute.
He's fucking
They're feisty
gentlemanly.
little animals, too. I don't doubt that they would eat a cockroach, and... to be honest with you, now that I know they eat cockroaches, I might get a mearcat for the house, because...
yeah, get her done.
Because this town's got roach problems, bro, like you wouldn't believe. I don't think I've ever lived in a town I've ever seen more cockroaches in my life. That's just disgusting.
Well, they come from all over the world.
They do, but for some reason in this town...
they all move here.
Yeah,
they love it.
They pop up
They're
everywhere. Into it. Oh, it's gross.
So they got to get their gambling on.
Can I be like a contrarian here and just to be controversial, name the cockroach after someone that like a lot of people like name the cockroach like Gandhi or something messed up?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you're paying for the right to name the cockroach. Yeah. I mean, this is a service. The zoo is providing for their guests. You know, if you wanted to be controversial, let's name them
Bob Vila from This Old House.
Bob Ross, Bob Vila, Mandela,
Norm Abram from the New Yankee Workshop. Rest in peace. You guys remember Norm Abram in the New Yankee Workshop?
No.
Yeah.
On right after Home Again?
Nope.
Man, did I watch those kind of shows. This was before TLC, when just like
Are you talking about PBS?
Yeah, this was old PBS though, like when I was a kid.
Oh my god, I remember This Old House.
Yeah, it was right after This Old House was.
Yan Can Cook. That was my jam, bro. Oh my god, that guy was the bomb, dude. You know what I watch now on PBS?
So can you.
Yeah, what I watch now on PBS is Cooks County.
Oh.
That's a
whole
show.
county? I bet the food's great in that county.
Yeah, maybe it's Cook's Country. I'm not sure. I get words confused with letters and stuff. Anyway, so they make things like food-related items, but like the best way possible. Like it's like it's a spin-off of America's Test Kitchen. I don't know if you ever used to watch that show.
Oh,
but that's an
actually,
awesome
yeah,
show.
well.
And we're just nerding out right now over some PBS shit when we're supposed to be talking about cockroaches and meerkats.
No.
It's more delicious.
Yeah.
It's relatable.
Okay, so here's the deal. So you've heard cockroaches can be milked, right?
What?
Let's get off topic real quick. You never heard of
that.
cockroach milk?
No.
Oh yeah, no. Please bring that up in your next
I've stepped on them
show.
and seen like the Junior Mints situation inside of them, but that's it.
Oh, you can definitely confuse a cockroach with a junior mint, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But there is a real thing where cockroach milk actually produces more protein than any milk that derives from any other
I didn't
mammal
think they're
on
an
the
animal
planet.
that lactated.
This is a true story, guys. Look it up.
Okay, although most cockroaches don't actually produce milk, this punctate, which is the only known cockroach to give birth to live young, has been shown to pump out a type of milk containing protein crystals to feed its babies. So it's this one type of cockroach that has a Diploptera ploppy, old ploppy. So the old ploppy cockroach.
Oh, ploppy cock, yeah.
See, if you see those old ploppies, you get that ploppy milk. Ooh.
I'm just saying, they give cockroaches a bad rap, but these things have been around longer than we have, and they're just going to continue to thrive.
This particular cockroach kind of looks fish-like. Like, I think it looks more edible than other cockroaches.
Real gross.
If it weren't for the pokey legs, it looks like a lump of salmon.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Fair enough.
So
sometimes you see what you want to see.
The fact that an insect produces milk is pretty fascinating, but what really fascinated researchers is the fact that a single one of these protein crystals contains more than 3 times the amount of energy found in an equivalent amount of buffalo milk, which is also higher in calories than regular cow's
There you
milk.
go.
So we should be starting with buffalo
I'm
milk to
spitting
begin
facts
with.
up in here. I mean, I've heard this story like a while back, but anytime somebody talks about feeding cockroaches to poor meerkats, all I have to say is, why not feed it to your ex? It's really going to be a beneficial health thing for them.
I think that's the point across a lot better.
A lot of protein. I feel like they should. Yeah, that should be the catch-all of the cockroach story. Is they get to name it after your ex, and then you secretly ask her out to dinner, and you feed it to her or him.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
That's tasty.
That's savage, bro.
Savage.
Yeah. We're using cliches now, dog.
I thought one of these would be more slicey. Here. Okay, so I've got another chunk on this with the suspenseful footsteps. So clearly milking a cockroach isn't the most feasible option. So an international team of scientists headed by this stem cell situation and regenerative medicine in India, they decided to sequence the genes responsible for producing the milk protein crystals to see if they could somehow replicate them in the lab. So there's going to be like these cockroach tits just like in a beaker.
You think about like a cockroach walking around with some big old nips on it?
Yeah, we're going to have to make... Well, no, we're going to just make stem cells turn into...
is pretty much looks like a giant nip anyways,
Yeah,
right?
so it'll be just the nips. It'll be like a tabletop covered in cockroach nips.
Ugh.
That'll just seep, and some like trowel will just like get the milk off there.
But in India, where there's a big deficiency of nutrition because they don't eat the large cow population because of their Hindu backgrounds,
it's a way to get some protein.
I can see that being a viable source of protein, and that's evolution at its best, folks. Okay, that's being able to take a source that is very plentiful and finding a nutritional value in it and then milking it, essentially, no pun intended,
no, it's great.
to be able to supply nutrients for a whole country. Think about it. You don't want to kill cows, but you'll milk a couple cockroaches? I mean,
Yeah.
It's milk
All
hour.
about it. I'm
So-
surprised though that Waz's idea of just like naming cockroaches after like famous figures wasn't actually a thing, just given how the internet always is.
I know. You'd think they'd be like tragically feeding these meerkats like
No,
Princess Diana.
wait. So where's
Right.
the zoo at again?
It was in El Paso.
El Paso,
Texas,
Texas. Okay. All right.
Maybe no one heard about it, and they're like, who cares?
That's
Cockroaches.
Spanish for the Paso.
Nice.
Back to the footsteps. I've been saying this for 3 seasons. I do need to label the buttons. But I do know that we've got some suspense right here.
And it?
Behold. Is this a new topic? This works better with the voice. Behold, new topic. I don't know. When you have headphones and you do like you get rich, you dig in there, and you get that proximity effect. That's when the stingers really have it's pro tip, you guys.
All right, we can do another guess where this happened real quick.
Guess where this happened? Now is the moment. Behold.
All right, so
Where am I?
this woman goes to her favorite restaurant, right? She wants to get a nice juicy burger, right? So upon arriving, she requests said burger, and person working behind the counter says, "I'm sorry, ma'am, we ran out of patties." Right? So you're like, "Oh, damn, that sucks. Maybe I'll come back earlier tomorrow," right? Like a normal person. No. Woman comes back with a baseball bat and busts in the windows of their storefront in protest of them running out of patties. And she got away.
She got away?
Yeah.
Do we know the assailant's name?
No.
Damn it.
No.
That'll tell me a little bit about where this might be.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go with anywhere there's a meth epidemic.
Yeah, people just get away when they bash out
I'm
windows
gonna
of a
say somewhere in the
major business.
Midwest, either Tennessee, West Virginia, or Ohio.
Man.
Yeah.
Is it Florida?
This one's a little off the beaten path of where.
Is it within the United States?
Yes.
Okay. Waz, what's your guess?
I'm going to say North Dakota.
Nope. New York.
Oh.
With all the places you can go get a damn burger in New York City,
Right.
you could have just walked 2 blocks down the road and got something from somewhere else. You're gonna run up in this bitch with a baseball bat.
Yeah, but
you're upset.
You ain't never had one of them back home burgers from the back home restaurant. That's why it was such a big deal. It's that back home burger.
That seems like you're going to have a greater risk of scarcity of patties when it's the back home kind of patties.
I feel like
Probably
their
true.
stock is going up tenfold because of this story.
I know.
It should
I'm
be.
Because
hungry
if people
now.
are that fucking upset about not getting that burger because it's so damn delicious, you know Guy Fieri's rolling up in that bitch next week with the Spanish driving some dives.
I want the
okay?
broken glass burger.
Yeah, let me get that burger that bitch was all beating people up over. That shit's gotta be good. Yeah. So
And then they don't have one for him.
Yes.
And he just has to bust the new windows out.
The Guy Fieri starts breaking windows. Is this
it's
what
so
you do?
good. Where's my baseball bat?
Tune
Give
in
my
next week.
67 El Camino. I got a baseball bat in the back.
Oh, man.
Let's go.
That's a Guy Fieri vehicle.
No, it is. Yeah, he loves that thing. That cherry red convertible 67 Camaro. I'm not gonna lie, I love cars, and that's a pretty sweet vehicle.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Do you watch Doug DeMuro on YouTube?
No.
Oh, man. If you, like, use YouTube for your cable like I do, and you like cars, there's this up-and-coming YouTuber that's... his fame comes from writing articles for Auto Trader. He's a journalist. And he started his YouTube channel and figured out his own format of reviewing these cars and checking out these cars. And it's just great. I love him. Doug DeMuro.
Okay,
you
we'll
like
check
cars.
him out. Free
Yeah.
plug for Doug.
Free plug for Doug.
We did it. All right, let's do our last little commercial chug. We get that out of the way, and then slam news.
Yeah,
We've
folks, I got
plenty
just
of
a
it.
couple more for you in there. Brand new ones.
Spanking.
Hey, Danny Wild from Steppenwolf here, man. You gotta check out the new rock venue inside of the Rio Hotel and Casino. 172, great place. Premier rock venue with a little bit of class. It's located on the second floor in the Masquerade Mall. They got killer food like sushi, tapas, and some awesome craft beers. Try the peanut butter stout. It's really good. I had about 80 of them. Check out these upcoming shows.
Friday, February 8th, 9 p.m. The Toasters and the Scotch Bonnets. Saturday, February 9th, 9 p.m. Black Sabbath and Alex Cole. Friday, February 15th, The Sinfully Hip and The Benders. Saturday, February 16th, 8 p.m. New Doubt, a No Doubt tribute. Our very own Radio Vegas Rocks, Lizzie Minx of the Pet Tigers, Isolated Avenue, and Revolta. Wednesday, February 20th, 9 p.m. Dalton and the Sheriffs. Friday, February 22nd, 9 p.m. The Emo Night Tour. Saturday, February 23rd, p.m. In the End, a tribute to Linkin Park and Incarnate. Saturday, March 2nd, 9 p.m. The music of 12 Volt Sex. All your ticket information off Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, you guys, the default in Ableton when you import audio clips is to have the warp function on, and that totally makes that makes the ad sound really weird. Oh no! There's this other funny thing that happens. I don't know if you can. Let me turn your mic up. Don't talk, because it's really hilarious.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Jay's dogs, if he doesn't like look them in the eye and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take off for a minute," like there's some kind of person. If he just like splits to talk to the neighbor or something, yeah, sometimes they get all concerned, and it's the funniest sound. Bless their hearts. I shouldn't like laugh at their misfortune, but it's a shallow misfortune. They're spoiled dogs. Anyway, don't forget to click that warp button, guys, or your commercials sound weird.
Hey, have you guys ever heard about HempWorks? I have. It's the highest quality hemp-derived CBD oil you can get. They have 11 incredible hemp-derived CBD products in the HempWorks brand. The products consist of 6 tinctures, 3 topicals, and 2 pet products, which all utilize CO2 extracted hemp oil grown in Kentucky. That's the good stuff. There's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so it's totally risk-free. If you don't like it, money-back guaranteed. Contact Heather B. Centers on Facebook or happyhealthyfamily5@gmail.com and get your HempWorks CBD oil today.
There we go. There's a patient commercial. I'm not making fun of how slow he talked, because it was like the right speed. I absorbed all that hemp information good. And another derivative of the same plant that hemp comes from often makes me speak slower too. So I'm a fan. Who likes motorcycles? So notice how I moved away from the mic to yell that? That's how the professionalism excitement occurs. Excitementism. You guys, Motorcycle Museum, check it out.
Tintic Motorcycle Museum will be open in spring of 2019. Tintic Motorcycle is housed in the Nation Historic Register building that was built in 1922 and operated as the U.S. Post Office from 1922 through 1996. Tintic Motorcycle also is a coffee shop with a flavorful menu of coffee and homemade pastries. Tintic Motorcycle has rooms available for lodging, weddings with catering available. Airbnb. Tintic Motorcycle. The museum is located in historic Eureka, Utah at an elevation of 6,500 feet. Tintic Motorcycle. The museum will have a grand opening the second full week in August during the second day Silver Jubilee Days. Celebrations will feature a motorcycle show, car show, parade, yes, that's right, we said parade, live music, and vendors. Tintic Motorcycle Work and Museum on Facebook.
Oh man, motorcycle time. A museum of motorcycles? Wow. Okay, so I was hollering at Sarah during the break, like, get some Zip Fizz, because this is where all my crazy is coming from right now. Is I'm hyped up on Zip Fizz. And the crash is infinitely more mild than something that's just caffeine, because there's a bunch of B vitamins and such in there, and it's sugar free, and it fizzes up some water. So I'll take this cup that 7-Eleven has graciously lent me to use for many occasions. They let me keep it after I got finished with it. And
But you
what I'll
paid
do,
for it though, right?
I did initially buy it,
Okay.
but they let me take it back to the store and keep using it. And 7-Eleven's neat like that. Anyway, I put some water in here. I put some Zip Fizz in it. I give it a little sloosh, and it fizzes up a little bit. So you do have to leave yourself some space in a bottle, for example.
Yeah.
Drink some away. But it's not carbonated enough that you can't give it some mix. And then I just hang out with it. I'd have about 1.5. You don't want to exceed more than 2 a day. So I'll stretch out about 1.5 over a day. I personally like all the light flavors, like lemonade, pink lemonade, the light color ones, and don't like the dark flavors as much. Ange, on the other hand, my darling, she likes the dark colors only and doesn't like the light ones. The lemonade one is actually less popular. There's a lot of them in this box to others, except freaks like me like just lemonade. I honestly grab like all the lemonades. To me, Zip Fizz tastes really good as a lemonade, and people are complicated like that. So this is an energy
supplement, right?
It is.
Okay, so it's like instead of drinking Red Bull, this is a healthier alternative.
Yeah, there is. Man, I knew the amount of caffeine in each one. I forgot.
This thing has 833% of your daily vitamin C intake.
Yeah.
Whatever vitamin B12 is, it's got 41,667% of your daily B12 intake.
B12 is the...
You're ODing on the B vitamins right now. No wonder you're fucking a wreck.
Yeah, B12 is... It's the active ingredient in things like 5-Hour Energy and other supplements that are known to be less crashy. It's something your body makes anyway. You supplement, it mixes with some food. That's another thing. You get a little food as a substrate. This absorbs into it. You get a good time. Zip Fizz, they are a sponsor, but I feel like this is helpful data anyway.
I'm going to try it. and
dump it in your beer.
Dump it in my... No, I ain't going to do that shit.
I get risky with it. I'll put it in. I'll get Powerade, put it in the Powerade. Yeah.
Bro, you turned a superhero after that.
I just spike things with it. Yeah, I haven't been sick in like a year and a half.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bad prank show coming on right there. We're gonna Zip Fizz somebody today. Yeah.
Someone's getting fizzed.
Somebody's getting Zip Fizz.
Now we're leading in to a new moment. We've returned.
All right, we got some cool news on the drug front.
Oh, by the way, this is the Greasy Conversation Show on RadioVegas.rocks.
In case you didn't know. We hadn't said it once since we started the damn show an hour and a half ago, but we just want to reiterate the fact that this is Greasy Conversations on the VegasRadio.com.
We do have many people on RadioVegas.rocks that they let it keep streaming, and all these great shows come by. Just want you to know that's what you're listening to, Greasy Conversation. You already know you're listening to RadioVegas.rocks. Unless you're on one of our video feeds, and then you should know that's the station. That's who you mentioned. You mentioned Greasy Conversation and Naked City Pizza. They're tragically probably not going to know who we are unless you say they're one of the things on RadioVegas.rocks. And then dude will be like, oh yeah, I met Waz. It's cool. We did the thing where we jump at each other and our chests bump together. And
I thought you were going to say something totally different, bro. I'm sorry.
10% off. Naked City Pizza. There's a new one at the Cortez. 10% off. All right, enough plug-in. We're back to business anyway.
Unplug. Let's
go.
Unplug.
A nasal spray made from ketamine has gotten FDA approval to be used as a treatment as a therapy for treatment-resistant depression.
Finally. We've been testing this for like a decade.
Who's ready to go to a K-hole?
Yeah, nobody's sad in the K-hole.
Oh, good Lord. I think ketamine is one of those drugs where if you don't know what it is,
have some.
More power to you.
If you don't know what it is, have
If
some.
you do know what it is, then you had, about 20 minutes of...
you have cool friends.
Yeah, irreplaceable time that you're never going to get back. I think for the most part, with certain drugs in different formats, and a lot of people look at things as in a negative light because, back in the day, K or ketamine, as it was called, was used as an abusive drug. And
yes, and it
so-
can be abused, which I do not advocate.
Yeah, but what was it used for initially? Wasn't it a horse tranquilizer?
Yeah, it's like a horse tranquilizer.
Yeah, horse and cat tranquilizer.
Sedative,
So people would take it, they would abuse it, so they would label that as a classified drug, and they would suppress any sort of medical research on it.
Yeah.
But so what I think probably happened was, you know, some doctors, some researchers that used to do it when they were younger or had gotten a hold of it realized, you know, that there was some superficial benefits to this and that they should look into it, which I think is pretty much going to be this. You're going to see this a lot more with drugs down the line, you know, with the cannabis revolution. You know, and even some things such as LSD, or not even that, but mushrooms being decriminalized in some states.
Yeah, psilocybin mushrooms are being used for studies similarly too.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there were some people that abused it, but then there were some people that used it and had a real reason to use it, but it was never really a proven cause or a benefit. But now with the research that that they're doing with it, they're showing that it can somewhat alleviate the signs of depression, which is great because if you look at a lot of those depressionary drugs, the side effects of those are horrible, you know.
And a lot of times it's just buying time. They give someone maybe a reprieve from a mental state that they don't really give someone a tool to evaluate their mental state from another perspective. Get some self as an observer. There's legit talk therapy and conceptual treatments for these things that you can't approach until the brain has had a chance through a chemical tool like this to get a crutch. Like you can't learn how to walk again without the crutch helping you feel what it's like to walk, then to learn without the crutch. So it's not the idea necessarily that you might need the ketamine for the rest of your life, but that's not the idea with a lot of psych meds, that they help you get through a point in life to then be able to reframe things that you just you can't even get to that pathway until you've crossed this bridge. I know that was an experience I had like when I was like 16, 17 years ago. I had been on and off of a few things and just really struggled with anxiety. For me, it was like my particular cocktail was diagnosed bipolar, but it really manifested as generalized anxiety. And while I didn't need to stay on any particular psych med, I absolutely needed them to understand life from a perspective where I could even get what it's like to live without the same things freaking me out.
Yeah, for sure.
It was an important step in the process that a lot of people neglect. And if ketamine snaps you there, man, I've definitely gotten dramatic insights into how I am and should be living my life according to my own standards through mushrooms. I've had experiences with psilocybin mushrooms where I've like really had breakthroughs psychologically that were really beneficial, to the point where I don't even consider that something to take like for fun. I consider like mushrooms something you take to get an experience that's beneficial, like a trip. Like going camping might not be fun the whole time because of all the challenges.
But if you got mushrooms, bro, this shit is bomb.
But overcoming the challenges of tripping are helpful.
Right. It always just reminds. It's like, damn, you're fucking dirty, man. Clean your goddamn room, man. Fucking socks everywhere. What are you doing with your life, man? First of all, you got way too many damn socks, and you leave them everywhere.
This was my last revelation on mushrooms that he's talking about. Why I haven't done them since, because I've got to approach the last thing they told me, which was like clean my office.
No, I get this. No, it's always like clean my house.
Yeah, if you're not sure if you're ready to trip or not, of course, get a friend to help guide you through the process for safety. Evaluate if you've had any issues with like schizophrenia or any kind of delusion that you've had to be corrected on, because that could be exacerbated. But if you feel clear on that, just clean your house first, because that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, are you for real right now?
Do you ever trip on cleaning your house when you trip? Like you're like,
oh no, dude.
That's when the bathroom's gross.
Dude, I'll be stuck in the corner looking at the goddamn tile for 3 hours, going, bro, it's moving.
I'm not into like the heroic dose. I like to like wean in. That's
You're a low doser. You're a micro doser.
Not a micro
doser.
doser.
No?
I like the pocket, you know?
Okay.
I'm like what was the half an eighth to an eighth
Oh
zone.
my god, dude.
Hey, don't judge.
I don't
It gets
judge,
me there.
dude. Listen, if there's anybody I trust about any sort of categorical drugs, whether they're legal, illegal, or on the cusp, it's you, bro. And that's not a negative thing to say, because
I'm quite flattered.
you know what it comes down to is when you use the drugs, how you facilitate them, and the fact that you don't abuse them. You don't abuse. A lot of people like to abuse things that make them feel good all the time. Bro, there's people that eat a lot of acid and shrooms that don't come back the same afterwards.
Yeah.
And
a lot of times they didn't want to in the first
because
place.
They didn't know the dangers going into it. They didn't understand like the psychological warfare that you're going through while you're under that type of psychosis. That's going to either lead you to some sort of breakthrough mentally, or it's going to either scare the shit out of you and make you have a bad trip. You know what I mean? So
I would add to that the people that I've met, or like the experiences that I'm familiar with in stories too, of people that have quote unquote not come back from such an experience, tend to be the kind of people that were either heading there anyway or didn't want to come back. They took it. They had a kind of mental suicide that they wanted to do anyway. Like they wanted to find this other place and they didn't want to return from it.
So quick question for you, because I know it's kind of a hot topic button issue nowadays. They have, did anybody watch Vice?
Yeah,
on,
like just
Showtime?
generally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they have
the
this...
movie. I'm sorry.
No. Vice, the kind of documentary series where they go around and they follow people that are making illegal drugs or doing things around the world.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Okay, yeah, I've seen a lot of that.
So there is this. So they went to, I want to say South America or Indonesia, somewhere like that. This guy went around and was drinking what they call this ayahuasca, yeah, which is very new to a lot of people. And so now here in the States, it's actually not it's not a declassified drug. It's they have little areas and pockets. I think it's up in Tennessee or Virginia where they have these places where you can go and experience that type of chemical. It's
really going for addiction treatment.
It's good for addiction treatment. It's good for depression. It's good for bipolar. It's good for any sort of mental or chemical brain imbalances. I would probably
it's like a big reset button.
Yeah, it is. That's what they say it is. I think a lot of that comes from the fact that there's all these plant-based types of therapies out there, and they derive a lot of times from cultures where they don't have modern medicine and they're not able to cure you through surgery or through other ways, so they do it mentally. And in certain countries where they drink that serum and it puts you in a state of trance, or they say tripping sometimes, or a self-evaluational state where you can actually go in and kind of, I guess, sort out your issues within yourself. I guess that's kind of what tripping is, really. If you look at it that way, you're able to kind of have an introspective look at how your body works and your brain reacts to certain instances. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg with the ketamine thing.
Yeah.
I think that, how you say
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca. That is gonna that right there, I think is starting to grow in popularity. Where we used to take mushrooms and stuff, I think that's gonna kind of replace that with the younger generations because it's becoming more popularized. But I would probably say to people that, great advice from you, Ozin, as far as, hey, if you have any sort of mental or psychological issues already, it's not necessarily a good idea to go ahead and facilitate those drugs in your body, depending on what state of mind you're in. Because
there's some mental issues that helps. There's other mental issues it does not help. You can lock yourself into that state of mind because either your brain chemical imbalance was already going towards that, or you can bring yourself out of it. For sure.
So, with all of these not new fancy drugs, I would say, or these new discoveries of drugs they've been using for hundreds of thousands of years in small villages in Indonesia, in South America, in places like that, they're starting to see what the medical benefits of those are. you know, and I don't know if you've ever tried that stuff. I've never tried it.
I haven't ayahuasca, but I've researched it a lot, just out of
I've
curiosity.
researched it too, and it's, I mean, there's only certain places in the world, and even in the United States, you can even get it.
Yeah.
And it's the recipe. If you make it wrong, you're screwed.
It's important because one plant has a chemical in it that a lot of plants have that actually causes the trip, and then the other plant is a neurotransmitter inhibitor, so that the rush of neurotransmitters from the other one isn't just automatically reabsorbed by the brain to no effect. So it's an interesting combo for that reason. 'Cause one of them is an SNRI. It's weird. It's like you're taking buspirone or something as part of it, which is an interesting trip if you take too much buspirone. Anyway.
And on the next
Not
subject.
advocating that either. It's just a fun fact.
Yeah.
So, and that's not for everybody either.
Yeah, and let me tell you something right now. I'm not an advocate of doing drugs, but, you know, if you're put in a situation where you're able to experience something and you're in a safe environment with people you trust, that's the best time to be able to
consult an
experiment
expert
with things.
with anything chemical you're putting in your body.
Yeah, don't just go out and get something because you thought,
Yeah,
you know, it
get
would
more
fix
than
your
one
problem.
opinion on it first.
Right,
more than
absolutely.
one completely. Get both sides of the opinions on any
You
drug
have
that
no
you're
idea
taking.
the types of people that will come up to me and ask me stuff like, hey, man, I want to try mushrooms. Like, what is it like? Or I want to do acid. What is it like? Or this and that. And
Buddy
I just have
system.
to tell them it's different for every
Yeah,
individual.
it
But
really
you have
is.
to go into what you're doing with a clear state of mind and with a presence of thought and not scared. Don't be scared to be able to experience something that most people never get the chance to experience.
Yeah, it's a buy the ticket, take the ride thing. You don't want to fight it. You want to just embrace it and know that that doesn't kill people. The amount of deaths attributed to psilocybin mushrooms are argued between non-existent to like 0 to a bunch that are not verifiable to be that substance.
I think the only reason why I say that is because I think we've all had that one friend. Right?
Yeah.
That's just ate a little too much or
But
just
how is
wasn't.
that friend sober? That's the thing. It's always that dude that's like, how there was he to begin with, and that's the thing to look out
You
for.
just secretly dose their ass when they're not looking, you know?
I mean, they were born dosed is half the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the problem too.
Damn.
That's great.
So we only have just a couple minutes, literally 2 minutes left.
No, we
And
don't. We're going for another 2 hours, guys.
I just have to bring up the puppies thing because we should
I
should
wanted
be
to get
quick
to
on
it.
this anyway. So this is gross. It's worth the suspense. All the puppies were fine. Let me tell you. Listen, all the puppies were fine. They ended up. They're probably stronger. They're probably smarter, and they're better puppies from it. But until that, these puppies, someone hid heroin in their body cavities. But it was a vet, so this wasn't like dirty surgery. This nice, clean, totally safe, professionally done surgery involved hiding drugs in these puppies.
Don't justify somebody's shitty actions because they're a fucking professional, dude. That's fucked up. I'm sorry. Okay.
Am I
Where's
arguing
that song?
for leniency
Where's that
and
Primus song? We like
Too many
to play.
puppies? Too many
Right.
puppies.
Too many puppies.
No, that's fucked up. Using puppies as drug mules.
And when you see the puppies, they're pretty big puppies. So that helps.
What kind of puppies were they? What breed? Do
They
we know?
look like I see a labs.
Yeah.
I see a golden. That's some kind of yellow lab mixed. I want to say golden
Just all
retriever
those- all
mix,
those
but they're
type
not
of
fluffy
guy-
enough.
Those labby guys.
Yeah.
So pretty big dogs. They're not putting shit in chihuahuas. is
No,
what
no.
I'm saying.
No, it's not
That'd
kittens.
be like really like non-efficient. Plus, chihuahuas are just like bullshit.
Unless it's fentanyl.
Damn.
Dude, that's horrible.
We're terrible.
I mean, that's liquid heroin too.
I
mean, if
fulfilled
it's
my
liquid.
I'm going to hell quota for the week.
All right. Okay. Any remaining media recommendations? Final stories?
No, I don't have any media recommendations this week.
Hey, you guys, monk time. Don't look or listen to anything all week until you see us again.
Right.
Close your eyes.
Go to sleep.
Plug your ears.
Go to sleep for a week.
Listen. Does this sound unusual for the ending theme song?
Yeah.
Because I accidentally like warped everything. There we
Nice.
go.
I'm liking it. It's a
Here
remix.
we go.
I
Huh.
just took a high dose of ketamine right there, bro. Oh yeah.
All right.
This is my jam.
So, Thank you, RadioVegas.rocks. Mention that to all our sponsors and Sequence. And stay tuned. Share the video with your friends and neighbors. Tell everyone that their lives are worthwhile when they're spent together with us. That was supposed to be a dramatic place to end, and I didn't hit the ending button.
Look around.